Hey everyone, welcome back to This Explainer. Today we're diving deep, and I mean a full 360-degree teardown, into Redwire Corporation. If you follow aerospace and defense, you already know Redwire is right in the thick of this massive shift in space infrastructure. But today we're cutting through all the hype. We're going to look strictly at the data to see what's really humming under the hood.
The big question we're answering today is pretty straightforward. Is Redwire a viable long-term investment? Now, to figure that out, we can't just look at their fundamental health, and we can't just stare at a stock chart. We have to do both. By layering the reality of their business on top of the technical price action, we're going to help you figure out if this space tech innovator is actually built to go the distance.
Okay, here is our roadmap for today. We've got 6 key stops. First, market trends and catalysts. Second, business model and operations. Third, management and execution strategy. Fourth, financial health and transition. Fifth, analyzing the intrinsic value. And finally, Elliott wave technical analysis. Let's jump in.
Section 1. Market Trends and Catalysts. So Redwire is basically serving 3 massive, undeniable macro waves right now. First, we're seeing global defense budgets absolutely surge. We're talking the US, NATO, the UK Ministry of Defense, all ramping up spending. Second, the space economy is exploding, driven by huge national efforts like the Artemis program and low Earth orbit satellites. And third, there's this accelerated need for rapid technological iteration. Things like modular design and quantum security, they aren't optional anymore. They're the baseline. Redwire is strategically positioned to capture demand from literally all 3 of these catalysts.
Section 2. Business model and operations. Now take a look at this number, $498.1 million. That is nearly $500 million, and it represents Redwire's record Q1 backlog going into 2026. This isn't just maybe someday demand either. This represents a massive book-to-bill ratio of 1.92. Basically, they are getting almost twice as many orders as they can currently fulfill. It's wild. This momentum is driven by heavy demand for real-world products like their ELSA solar wings and their Stalker drone, which, by the way, has already seen over 250 units delivered to Ukraine. Because of all this, Q1 revenue hit $97 million, which is a massive 57.9% jump year over year.
And what's great is they've built some serious barriers to entry to protect that revenue. I mean, they boast a literal 100% on-orbit success rate for their solar arrays on the International Space Station and various NASA missions. When you combine that kind of decades-long flight-proven heritage with super rigorous government certification systems, you get incredible customer stickiness. But, and this is a big but, you do have to watch out for concentration risk here. Historically, over 85% of their revenue comes directly from government contracts, so all their eggs are kind of in that one giant bureaucratic basket.
Section 3. Management and Execution Strategy.
All right, under Chairman and CEO Peter Canito, the company is actively shifting gears. They're pivoting their operational focus toward expanding gross margins, improving cash flow, and optimizing their entire product portfolio. This is a very deliberate transition. They're moving out of that phase of heavy, aggressive investment and into a phase of strict, disciplined execution. Honestly, management is being really transparent about this shift, which is exactly what you want to hear from leadership in a high-growth, capital-intensive industry like aerospace.
And we're already seeing this strategic pivot translate into global action. Management is aggressively expanding their European footprint. They just opened a UK office specifically to support the Ministry of Defense's Tinquila project, and they've got a Belgian facility up and running for the European Space Agency's quantum key distribution satellite development. By putting boots on the ground locally and forming multinational alliances with heavy hitters like Honeywell, Redwire is directly cutting down delivery risks and getting way more responsive to their key international clients.
Section 4. Financial Health and Transition.
So financially speaking, Redwire is right in the middle of a critical transitional phase. Let's look at the good side first. Gross margins are up to 26.6%, and they have strong total liquidity sitting at $175.2 million. That's great. But juxtaposed against that, we've got some very real challenges. They reported a negative net income, though to be fair, that was largely due to a one-time $42.5 million equity comp tied to their Edge Autonomy acquisition. We're also seeing a negative return on invested capital, meaning their current capital allocations aren't quite yielding positive returns just yet, and negative free cash flow. But really, this just reflects the heavy R&D costs and super long contract cycles that are just the nature of the beast in this sector.
Section 5. Analyzing the intrinsic value.
Okay, let's talk valuation. To figure out what the company is actually worth today based on fundamental cash flows, we use a conservative discounted cash flow, or DCF, analysis. We break this down into 3 specific steps based on our source data.
Step 1, we project a 25% compound annual growth rate in revenue from 2026 out to 2030. Step 2, we apply an 8 to 10% terminal free cash flow margin. And step 3, we discount those future cash flows back to today's dollars using a 12% discount rate.
When you crunch those numbers, this analysis spits out a base case intrinsic value of right around $11 to $12 per share. Now here's the kicker. The stock has recently been trading higher than that, floating around the $15 to $16 mark. What does that mean? It means the current price actually carries a premium. So a good chunk of that future growth is already priced in. For the stock to justify this premium and actually unlock higher valuation upside, Redwire essentially has to execute its contracts flawlessly and really accelerate those gross margins.
Section 6. Elliott Wave Technical Analysis.
All right, well, the fundamentals show a company in transition. Let's switch gears to the technicals to see how the market is actually pricing this asset today. If we apply Elliott Wave theory to Redwire, we can see the stock started its impulsive move from around $4 back in early 2024. Right now, it looks like it's entering the early stages of Wave 3. And if you know Elliott Wave theory, you know Wave 3 is historically the absolute strongest, most explosive impulsive wave in the entire sequence. We've already seen a massive 26.15% weekly close increase, backed by a huge expansion in trading volume, which basically confirms this move has some serious, undeniable momentum behind it.
Breaking down the specific sequence here, Wave 1 took the price all the way from $4 up to $24. Then, Wave 2 brought a deep, pretty aggressive correction back down to near $8. But here's why this is absolutely vital. Wave 2 perfectly validated the overall structure because it pulled back, but it never broke below that $4 origin point of Wave 1. That successful test right there, that sets up the massive upside potential we're currently tracking for Wave 3.
So, based on Fibonacci extensions, our technical targets are pointing to a Wave 3 peak somewhere between $38 and $42. Looking even further down the road, a final Wave 5 target could potentially stretch all the way up to $52 to $56. And this upside is fully supported by massive volume expansion. We're talking over 344 million shares traded. However, I do need to point out a technical warning here. The Relative Strength Index, or RSI, which is a key momentum indicator, is currently sitting at 71.04. That puts it officially in overbought territory. So while a short-term pullback is definitely possible, keep in mind that overbought conditions can actually persist for an extended period during a super powerful Wave 3. Okay, to wrap up this explainer, if you're actually looking to take a position in this stock, make sure you keep your eyes peeled on these 5 key fundamental metrics. You want to monitor their delivery milestones for the Stalker and ELSA systems, watch for continued improvement in their gross margins, and see if they actually hit that $450 to $500 million full-year revenue guidance. Also, track the execution pace of their European projects, and most importantly, pay very close attention to their timeline for turning free cash flow positive. If they deliver on these fundamentals and the stock happens to see a meaningful pullback, well, that could create a highly attractive entry window for you.
So, to summarize, Redwire undeniably has the market tailwinds, they have the proven on-orbit tech, and they have massive technical momentum pointing upward right now. But, as we've seen, their fundamental valuation carries a hefty premium, which means the market hype eventually has to meet the harsh realities of scaling a capital-intensive business. So, I'm going to leave you with this final crucial question to chew on. Will management's execution catch up to the market's sky-high expectations? Keep learning, keep analyzing, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.